this time I'm going to be commentating this one as well here. However, not because of a race ban or anything like that. Let's just I move myself into a reserve driver position, and as friend Ivan right here to take over my driving duties as Yura's teammate for the remainder of the season, and probably that's what the lineup is going to be for the rest of the races of the season. The official practice session has just started, so we're still 20 minutes away from the start of the qualifying session, and is the German Grand Prix Hockenheim, as we have Barna and Gurkem. He's a new guy, I'm not entirely sure about his name. Gurkem. So currently on the session we've got Gökhan, Ivan, Gurkem, Jürgen, Chris, Barna, Eku, and Soli. 8 drivers. We're still waiting for a few more. The turnout might be a little lower than normal. It's the end of the season after all. And a few of the drivers can't make it today, so it's gonna be a smaller grid than what we usually drive with. So a good chance for others to try and get some points onto the board. Still 16 minutes left of this practice session. Currently nobody seems to have an actual time yet. And Gökhan goes wide to the scenic road, and someone already rearranged the cones right there. And Barna with a 145. Gökhan arrives with a 149. Probably could have been a lot better if he didn't go wide. Ivan slowly leaving the pits, or maybe just enter. No, he's leaving the pits because the Ferrari pit is right on pit entry. Gurkem coming out of the pits as well. Christian begging for a setup. Unfortunately, I have none, so someone might send his. Zoli in the other McLaren. His garage. And Chris and the Williams coming out of the pits. And there's a bit of a train right behind them. Jürgen and not Gökhan, so Alfa Zoli. Yep. So it seems like everyone had no practice coming into this round. So we'll see what we're in for today. In the meantime, we're just going to have a look at what the guys are doing. And a wee bit of looking around. Who else is going to make it today? And we're definitely one driver down, as Robbie is on a one race ban after causing a massive incident in Austria. And some other drivers that I mentioned can't make it today, so I assume it's gonna be 8 or 9 drivers for this race. And it's still only Barna and Gökhan who have actual times on the board. But at this point it doesn't matter too much as it's just practice. What will matter will be the qualifying, and oh, that wasn't very nice. Ivan still feeling the call of rally as he just flies over everything. And here comes I keep forgetting his name, seriously. What's wrong with me? Görkem. Well, obviously, as this suggests, I'm in absolutely top form today. So this is gonna be a very interesting commentary as Gökhan goes a little wide and then just uses the wall to stop the car. And now we have the current championship leader arrive, Rokas, as we continue with Barna. And the Ferrari just gets overtaken by the McLaren. Hopefully we'll see some of that on track as well. That's an interesting way to take the corner, almost on two wheels. Still 11 minutes to go, and it seems like the other commentators arrived as well, as after this race tomorrow in the afternoon there will be another video out on the actual MRF channel with their commentary. Of course that's in Hungarian, which is one of the reasons I'm doing this in English, so there is one that's more understandable for those who, well, for those who don't speak Hungarian, obviously. So let's have a quick look. So Gökhan managed to improve by 4 seconds, and Zoli just throws in a 1:42. Ivan coming through and starting his hot lap. Görkem still out on track. Jura right behind Rokas there. He lets him go. That's very kind of him. Echo. So, just trying to sort some technical stuff over here to ensure that I'm gonna get the information for the sessions. Christian seems to be having issues with his setup. This happens if you're not prepared. minutes to go. Let's see. I made some. Oh no, I will have to reconfigure some settings here. Obviously, as you can see here, this is not what's happening right now, as the wheel isn't even plugged in. So I'll need what? I'll need LCD in the first place. So that's gonna be up, down, increase, decrease, and everything else is already sorted. So let's have a look. Right, everything's working like a charm. 7 minutes left of the session. And that's quite a bit of smoke and a yellow flag. Somebody had a look at the gas. Let's see how Rokas is going to do. Currently on his warm-up in this practice session is almost a second one to Zoli, which is a rare sight, to be honest. So we might be in for an absolute upset. Almost 2 seconds down. That's something unexpected. That was a very nice drift, actually. And he saved it, which makes it even more beautiful. 46.3, and he lost quite a bit of time with that drift, even compared to his own time. Gökhan, he's on an out lap right now. Görkem, he's on a lap, but he spins, and I think we already saw this move by Gökhan before. Echo is more than a second up to his previous time. Still a bit down to Zoli. And Christian is on an out lap. And now Zoli is on the prow. And he must have made a mistake as he stops halfway into this lap. Let's see, Borna, he's on an out lap. Ivan goes straight. Rokas as well. This is gonna be interesting. I can tell you that. Plenty of mistakes happening. And it seems like right now everyone is on an out lap, except for Rokas, but he already lost a lot of time after his shenanigans, so currently 6 seconds down to his own personal best time, and he's coming into the pits, either testing pit strategy or just bringing the car back. There he goes, and he's back to the garage. Echo is on a hot lap. Christian being a bit of a trouble right in front of him. And Borna is starting his hot lap right now. Let's see how this is going to work out for him. right behind him, Rokas and Christian as well. And that's a yellow flag. So Christian pinned it. And Borna is currently 1/10 up on his previous best time. And only 1/10 down to Zoli in the first sector. Gokan on the other hand, no, that's Görkem. 7/10 down to his own time. Jürgen on only 1.1 second down. Right, so let's see if Zoli manages to improve his time. And with back to Rokas, he's on an outlap. I'm trying to find Borna. Unsure what Jura has done, but he stopped his lap. And let's see, it's not enough. And in fact, he must have dropped a lot of time in the third sector and finished 1/10 down. And he's almost half a second down to Zoli. And we've got 1.5 minutes left in this session, right before we move on to the qualifying. So not a lot is going to happen. I guess it doesn't really matter either. Christian still 0 finish laps. Seems to be struggling a lot with this car. Or with himself and the lack of practice, which might be another explanation as to what's going on. And we're about half a minute away from the end of this session and the start of the qualifying. Yeah, Zoli is happy with his current performance. No wonder, he's actually doing really well today. So hopefully he's going to be able to keep this up for the remainder of the session, and first and foremost for the qualifying, and it's starting right now. So that's everyone here. It's time to see how this unusually small grid is going to line up today. It's gonna be a 15 minutes session, and Zoli the first coming out. Ivan is on his way out as well. And nobody else. So the way this works, it's unlimited laps on all the way in a 15 minutes long qualifying session. And that's Rokas and I think Ivan, yes, that's Ivan. And the second Ferrari is driving my car right now. Probably that's what's confusing him. And Borna is coming out for his lap. Echo is already out himself, so I'll just switch back 15 minutes. And I think Ivan might be using Rokas for slipstream. And Zoli is about to start his flying lap, the first one. There he goes, and the timer is starting. And I think Christian is coming out of the pits. Seems like there's no trouble between the two drivers. And Rokas is on a lap now as well. Ivan starting his. And the rest of the guys are finishing their out laps as we speak. Echo in the gravel. That's not what you would expect. So for now it didn't cost him any time, which is a good thing. Gurkam comes out from the grass. And let's see where Zoli will end up on his first lap. Still quite a bit to go. And there will be someone in front of him. No, he actually went back to the garage, which is a good thing. It doesn't messes up his lap. 140, 141. Let's see what that's gonna be. 130, 143.7. Not a bad lap. And that earns him well, second place as Rokas puts about 142.9 on his first flying lap. Absolutely awesome. And Zoli is already coming out for a revenge. Borno coming through with Echo right behind him. However, a little bit too far to get some effective slipstream out of him. So let's see how Borno is going to do on this lap. 144, I guess. Yes, 144.9. Gökhan out on the gravel. Jura letting everyone go. And Gökhan just started his flying lap. Gurkam and Christian. Christian is also on a hot lap. And goes very, very wide off into the gravel. And both Ferraris got the chicane. They're both on an out lap. And Borno is a second down to himself, so hardly any improvement will come out of that. Echo currently on third place. Rokas in P1, Zoli in P2, Borno in P3, Echo in P4, and the other drivers don't have an actual lap time yet. All that, but we still have 9 minutes to go in the session. So still plenty of time for our drivers to catch up. Ivan is on a lap, both Ferraris are on a lap now. Gökhan is, well, I don't know what he's doing. He's ruining Eko's lap is what he's doing. And Rokas is already trying for another one. It's 11,000th of a second improvement into sector 1. And currently Zoli is faster, however he's already coming up to the end of sector 2. And now he is 2/10 down, however a 1/10 improvement to himself. So not everything is lost, he might actually set a better lap time. And with a bit of luck, he might as well take over pole position. We're about to see as he's coming out of the final corner. 143, 143.4, half a second down to Rokas. Managed to improve by 3/10 to his own best time. Borna is on an improving lap as well, almost 2 seconds better than his previous lap time, and only 1/10 of Rokas. So there might be some fireworks between the Jaguar and the Prost driver. So we're trying to find, oh, we're not finding Rokas as he's out in his garage. Jura just set a lap, 144.4. That's his best lap at the moment. Eko 6/10 down to himself currently. Gökhan is on an improving lap. Let's see where this is going to take him. Currently P7, let's see if there's gonna be any improvement. Yeah, a lot of improvement. So he probably bent it in sector 3 before. And that's a very interesting way to stop the car. I wonder if it stops faster if he hits the wall. Rokas on his outlap, Borna on his outlap, everyone on their outlaps. Except for Eko, he's on an actual flying lap right now. 2:41, better than his previous best. And half a second down on the current session best, which is still Rokas in pole position. I wonder if Zoli will be able to recreate that lap he did back in the practice session, as that could probably elevate him back to pole position. And if he can keep this up, he might actually put McLaren back in contention for the second place of the Constructors' Championship, as right now Jaguar is quite a bit ahead in the Constructors' standings, followed by Ferrari, and even more behind McLaren and Prost on the same amount of points actually. Christian is on a lap. He's currently in 9th place. Rokas we'll see how he does. And I think that's Borna right behind him, who in the meantime moved up to 2nd place. And Zoli is on the fly right now. 2/10 faster than his best time from before, and 0.065 up on Rokas as well after 2 sectors. Let's see, he's coming into the final corner, gets out of it. Let's see where this is going to take him. Is there be a new pole position? No, just a little bit down on Rokas, but it still takes him up to 2nd place. And Gökhan is starting another flying lap with 3.5 minutes to go. And Rokas didn't improve. And Zoli is coming out for what's possibly gonna be his last out lap and flying lap, as there's not enough time left for another. That's Jürgen. No, that's Ivan actually. Currently on P4. Jürgen in his garage. Gökhan down on P6, and so far he didn't improve. Christian up to P8. Görkem down to P9. He's a new driver, which also means that he needs some climatization in order to get used to this. Thankfully, Rokas is on an out lap, so this wee shenanigans with Christian didn't affect anything. Actually, both of them are on out laps. Christian could be actually a little bit smarter here. Oh, he touches the grass and the wall. Not good. Christian could have used Rokas for a wee bit of slipstream. So Zoli currently much faster than himself. Or well, he's still in sector 1, so we'll see after that's over what it's gonna be, as that was his previous lap. And you could see Ivan in the background, and that's, yeah, he's giving up. And there's not enough time for another lap. Let's see Borna coming through. And he's currently ahead of Rokas. Gets almost thrown off the track by the curb. Let's see how much that cost him. Yeah, that must have cost him a lot. That's too bad. He even goes wide and has an encounter with the barrier. Jura, I think he spun, or just doing donuts for whatever reason. Gökhan, yep, he had no time, and at least he gives us a spectacular stopping of the car. Christian coming in. Yep, and Barner realized he messed up the 3rd sector. So at least Christian will be able to improve his own time, it seems. Not by much. No, he's not. That's a shame. And that's the session over. And the starting grid will be Rokas from pole position, Zoli 2nd, Ivan third, Barna fourth, Jürgen fifth, Gökhan sixth, Echo seventh, Christian eighth, and Görkem ninth. And that's a very, very close gap between pole position and second. And there's also not much separating Ivan and Barna. So it's been a pretty nice qualifying session so far. And now we're moving on to the warm-up, which is 5 minutes. And after that, so I just had a bit of water. So it seems like nobody wants to go out for a warm-up. So let's just so at least Rokas goes out for we warm up. And that leaves us with just under 3.5 minutes until the race starts. This is a perfect chance for everyone to take care of their needs before the race starts. Though this one will be a wee bit short as it's only 15 laps. I mean, with lap times in the 140s, it's still gonna be the average length, or rather the average race distance that's normally happening. So Zoli is out as well. Borno. I mean, at this rate, at this point, what they need is pretty much only a lap to see how the car behaves on bigger fuel load and to possibly practice with It's always a good thing to know where to go and when to apply the pit limiter to avoid the cheap penalty. So just about a restart. And it seems like Christian is kind of able to keep up with Rokas. Kind of. Zoli in the front. Borna and everyone else remains. And the garage, and that's Christian in the background. Seems like pressing on barrier. I've seen people with qualifying times like this, and that's apparently that's his race pace. And that's this session over. We're waiting for Rokas to finish his lap. And after that, we'll be moving on to the race. See how round 11 of this championship unfolds as Rokas gives us a spectacular spin and the server decides to cut it off. And now we are ready to start. Right, usual timer reset to do the resync. And the race is on. Rokas comes through, it seems. Gurkham already in the grass. Great start. And it seems like everyone survives turn one. Rokas still in the lead. It seems like Borna is second. Yes, and he's coming 3 wide on the straight. This is going to be an absolute disaster or something really beautiful. Let's see Zoli on the grass. Borna goes through. Gerb unsettles his car. He loses a lot of positions. What a chaos already into the first chicane. Ivan up to second. Zoli right behind him. And that's a big accident caused by I think it was Kokan. That's gonna be a restart. And yeah, we just red flagged that. Right. So this didn't go very well. So we're giving time for the guys to reload their setups and everything. And hopefully this time we can have a more safe, more friendly start of this race. So some quick adjustments here, there, everywhere. And we're going to go over to the race a second time, and hopefully things are going to unfold much better than it happened. And Christian gave up, it seems, or his internet gave up. One of the two possibilities. So first we're going to check. So this is the classic BS that we end up facing every time. So uh, right, so Rokas is on his way back, and Chris has a wee bit of an issue with his Wi-Fi, so we'll see whether or not he can make it back. So now we just wait for everyone to get back. Have a merry pissing. Aye, good. Well done. So And it seems like the two victims of our factor today are Rokas and Christian, and both of them are having trouble getting back. So for now, we just wait and hope for the best that they will be able to make it back in time. I rather don't say anything to that. I wouldn't be very nice. So, and the wise ones are off and putting in a wee bit of practice while the missing drivers are coming back. Right, Chris is back. That's a good thing. And Rokas is back as well. That's another good thing. Which means that all I need to do now is editing the grid and right, so right, that's Christian out again. Right, right. Oh my god. All right, now it's Echo who's disappeared. That's absolutely amazing. It's going so great again. And now Ivan is recrolling the entire grid. So Echo is back. I just can't remember what position he was in, but I have to put him back. Right, so that should be it. And on we go again. Hopefully this time that's even going to work. Or at least that's what we're hoping for. The chat is getting gradually worse over time. Right, so we have the two Ferraris on the grid already, and now slowly everyone else as well. And I think everyone made it to the grid. And here we go again for the second time. Rokas gets another great start. Corner comes up to second. Bit of a tussle in the back. Seems like almost everyone came away safely, at least in turn one. Now we're on to the long straight and into the chicanes. Corner and Rokas side by side. Well, not entirely, but that's what's gonna happen. And there's Jürgen and one of the McLarens as well. Very safely in the chicane, and that's already see the Jordan cutting through. And Borna, can he make it? Can he make it through the second long straight? He can. He's currently up in the lead. And that's Jürgen on his own, off into the gravel. What's happening there? And it seems like he's stuck. Yes, he is stuck. It's not going to come out of that. Flawless track quality right there. And Barna on P1 currently. So we third and Rokas in second. However, this has just started. So there's still plenty of life left in this. Christian does not listen to Echo onto the grass. Nothing that should happen there. Wokan is still ahead of behind Ivan. So he's ahead in the other McLaren. Ivan is in a McLaren sandwich. And it seems like Wokan might have an edge, especially with slipstream from the Ferrari. And that's a Jordan. It seems like he got away without hitting the barrier. Soli P3, starting from P2. So he switched places with Barna. And a bit of a tussle there between Gökhan and Ivan. Christian, no idea what he's doing, cutting the corner. So Christian was supposed to give a position back. And he didn't. Görkem up to P6, and that's Ivan in the Ferrari out in the gravel, which allows Gökhan to pass. Which means he can go after his McLaren teammate, and Barna is looking on the inside. And he must have lost the lead somewhere while we were looking at the others. And can he make it? Can he make it? As they go into the straight, it seems like the Prost has a better straight line speed as we enter the chicane. And it seems like Rokas managed to get the position back. And now side by side, two drivers, P1 and 2. And yes, Prost definitely has the higher straight line speed. Let's see how this is going to unfold. And he manages to keep the position. And this might allow Zoli to catch up to them, come up as the third party in this battle for the first 3 places. I think he touched a bit of grass in the back, but got away without any incidents or spinning. And that's Jürgen out of this race. Christian 8. Echo currently on 7 after that adventure into the gravel. Görkem on 6. Ivan on P5, and it seems like he still has a lot of hope, well, actually a lot of hope to catch up to Gökhan. So that battle may not be over just yet. And that's Gökhan just driving in the nothingness. Zoli already more than 2 seconds ahead. Ivan more than 2 seconds almost behind. So we're back. And Zoli is going wide again into the grass. And it's still a big battle between Barna and Rokas at the beginning of lap 3. Well, not really the beginning at this point, the first chicane. And it seems like Barna is able to hold him back. And Zoli is actually not gaining that much on these 2 drivers, which might be detrimental to his chances of winning this race. Barna is taking the chicanes very narrowly to not allow Rokas to make any move on the inside. Very tactical defending, and they are side by side, well, almost. Rokas is looking on the outside, but can't make a move. And they come through another chicane. And now on the straight, he might be able to get a bit of slipstream out of the back of the Prost, but it's not enough. And Barna makes a big mistake. He's going off into the grass, losing the lead. He's down to second. Rokas is back to first, and Zoli is now definitely catching up at least to Barna. And we have Gökhan here on P4, having a nice Friday evening drive. And Ivan is actually catching him. It's already within 2 seconds. definitely has the pace to keep up with him. Görkem on P6 on the last point scoring position. That's a big cut. And that's gonna be a warning. Echo on P7, still a little bit behind. I don't know whether or not he's got damage, whether he hit something when he did that, was it onto the grass. Okay, at least not until the end of this race. And Horner is trying to catch back up and close that just shy of 2 seconds gap to rival Rokas and the lead, and Zoli is already 5 seconds behind, which makes it about 2.5 behind Varna. And we've got the McLaren and the Ferrari P4 and 5 as they are getting close to each other, and there was the icon for pit stop for a second for Luka, and I thought he's going to come out to the pits. It would have been pretty strange after maybe 4 laps. However, I don't have any information this time how long the tires last, so I'm not sure how far one can take the softs. I would say approx 5-6 laps, perhaps if one is 27. And let's see as they are at it again. Rokas and Barna back into the action. It seems like Barna managed to correct his mistake and caught back up to Rokas. So we're in for another round of these two battling for the race lead, as Barna moves to the inside, gets the better entry and the better exit as well, and makes it stick. He's back into the race lead, and he's going to pit at the end of this lap. And it seems like Rokas might stay out, as he's getting a lot of slipstream as well, which might give him a chance. No, it's not yet, but he might be through. Side by side for the whole second section, and now still very close between these two. However, Barna manages to get the edge for now and is still in the lead. But something tells me that this is not over. Something is brewing, and Ivan actually overtook Gökhan at some point. I assume there's been a mistake by Gökhan, which allowed Ivan to take P4. Görkem and Echo are about to have a bit of a battle for the last point scoring position. Görkem goes wide. That's a big cut. Barna is able to open a wee bit of a gap. It's almost a second now between him and Rokas. And he didn't come to the pits at the end of the previous lap, which means he might do it now. And it seems like Rokas is still not pitting. Zoli on P3, pretty much undisturbed by anyone really, as he's got quite a bit of a gap to both chasing drivers to Ivan and Gökhan. 3 seconds ahead of Ivan. However, you can see him from this perspective, so ultimately not that far, but still comfortable enough. And Ivan is coming to the pits at the end of this lap. However, won't Christian as well. And the cross driver enters the pits, which means that if Rokas can do another lap or two at full speed, he might be able to get just about an advantage that after his pit stop he can come back to the lead. And just as I say that, the pit icon appears, which means he's going to pit at the end of this lap. And we have Zoli now on second, Ivan on third, Gökhan fourth, Barna all the way down to fifth. So let's see how this is going to unfold, as he might catch quite a bit of traffic there. And Christian and Gökhan both in the pits. As Gökhan is about to enter. He's still a bit far away. You saw the message he sent. So it seems for now that Barna didn't catch the traffic, which might actually be beneficial for him, as that's gonna be a big McLaren double stack, as both McLaren seem to be willing to come in at the end of this lap, which could be detrimental to the remainder of their race, as we're just about halfway through. And Rokas entered the pits just now. There he is. Zoli coming. Ivan did not, which is surprising. That's an interesting Ferrari strategy. Let's hope they didn't use the book of the past decade for it, because then we know where this is heading. And in the background you can see Rokas returning from his pit stop. And it seems like, well, they certainly didn't manage to avoid the double stack, but it probably wasn't as bad as one would think. And nothing really has changed apart from the size of the gap between Zoli and Gökhan, which was about 5-6 seconds. It's now more than double at 12.3. So there's definitely been a big double stack in the McLaren pit. And now Barna is back up to third. And Gökhan is out of the race. And Ivan is in the lead right now, closely followed by Rokas and Barna. We'll see what he's got in mind, as currently he's not betting. That's a very, very interesting strategy. Either going to surprise us with something completely unexpected, or something will go horribly wrong. These are the two options, as the grid has pretty much settled by now. However, Barna is definitely coming. 6 seconds off of Rokas, who is in turn 6 seconds off of Ivan. Well, it's now decreasing. So it's pretty much the same gap between 1, 2, and 3. And Zoli at P4. Quite a bit behind. just by himself. And Gökhan on P5, Echo on P6, last position, and Christian on P7. And he's still on the same lap as the race leader. So I guess that's pretty good. So Ivan might actually pit at the end of this lap. Yes, he does. Here comes Ivan for a pit stop. Let's see how this is going to work out for him. Here comes Rokas. He's definitely coming through. He is through. And Borna will come through as well. Yes. However, I would assume there comes Zoli. Let's see how this is going to unfold. Ivan comes back ahead. So ultimately this worked out for him, and he might as well have a fuel and definitely a higher advantage for the remaining 5 laps, which might even mean that he could potentially close the gap to at least Borna. Rokas is already far away, 15 seconds ahead, with no other pit stop in sight. Echo P5. Gökhan, out on the grass. No idea what he's doing. He's trying to finish his race. He's definitely doing that. Right. And with that, we're back with Rokas. And it seems that, yeah, that's definitely a post in the background. So there might be still some battle left in this race for the final laps. There might as well be one between Zoli and Ivan. We'll see about that. But at this point, I would definitely not close out the opportunity or the possibility. That's a nice catch. And here we can have a quick look at Echo getting bored. Christian as well. And at this rate, all he needs to do is just finishing the race to get at least a point. So apparently Jürgen is still on. He's probably watching the race himself. There's still more than 6 seconds between us. The Prost driver, oh, that's a big mistake again. Needs to get his act together. Otherwise, he might be caught by Ivan as well, who's starting to pull away from Zoli. So, toward the end of this race, we might end up watching a bit of a battle. We'll see how that unfolds. Other than that, it's just the standard. Rokas in the lead, Borna second. However, he's won the last race in Austria. Utterly shiny conditions. Rain, full of spray, wet track. People off a big win. back when Ivan was driving the Jordan. Austria, he replaced me as the second driver of the team, and currently he is good place. Unfortunately, the other Ferrari driver is out of this race. Rokas is definitely building a big gap. He's back in the remaining 2 laps. He's already at the end. So that's his 13th lap finished, which means 2 more to go for him. And Borna is coming into the pits. What's happening? What is going on here? He's basically gifting second place to Ivan, who now all he needs to do is to come through and make it back home to score second. And Zoli is through as well. So now he's on the podium and Borna is leaving the pits just now. Echo is still far away, so he's not going to lose another position, but he already lost 2, and with that the podium and quite possibly the podium hopes. And Ivan is stuck. He is stuck. No, what a shame. Unbelievable. That's both Ferraris out, and Borna is back. And that's Rokas. Zoli coming through in second place. He's basically back on the podium. And he can't move whatsoever. Well, that's interesting, and absolutely flawless track quality. Where is Rokas? Ah, there he is, already almost through his final lap. Very close to another race win. Again, with quite a bit of dominance. Christian is going to pit, or at least the pit icon is up. And Borna on P3. In the end, hasn't really lost anything. So that's Rokas about to come through. And I think Christian is out of fuel. No, he's not. Oh, he let Rokas pass, so he can finish the race. So his P5, I think Rokas wins the race as expected for quite a while now. And Zoli is coming through the stadium. There he is. Final corner. And Zoli second. Borna P3. Echo still quite a bit behind. but the only driver who didn't lose the race yet. And he'll be on P4 just about surviving this race. Going a little wide, and he finishes the race. And that's over. Right, so Lucas wins, Zoli second, Barna third, Echo fourth, Christian fifth, and sixth, Gökhan seventh, Görkem eighth, and Jürgen ninth. So this was the 11th round, the German Grand Prix of MRF. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next one. Goodbye.